Listen carefully, don't scroll past this moment. This is not a random message. This is your confirmation. What I spoke over you in silence. What I whispered into your spirit when you were too broken to speak back. What I planted deep in your soul while the world dismissed you. It's moving now. You may not see it yet, but I see the motion. I see the shift. I see the promise unfolding like a storm rolling over the horizon, silent at first, then sudden, undeniable, and unstoppable. The words that felt too far away to believe are catching up with you. I have not forgotten what I said. Heaven is responding to what earth has tried to bury. While others passed you by, I paused for you. I stopped to see you. I noted the tears, the prayers, the sleepless nights where your heart whispered, "Lord, when will it be my turn?" And now hear me, your turn is not coming, it's already on the way. The spiritual realm has already shifted. What I designed for your future has already begun walking toward you, step by step, moment by moment, heartbeat by heartbeat. And no one can stop it. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to fight for recognition or force the door open. I am the door. And I have opened this one for you. What was once hidden is now headed in your direction, not because you earned it, but because I decreed it. Not because you were loud, but because you were loyal. You stayed when you could have walked away. You believed when everything around you screamed give up. And now, the reward is responding to your faith. The seed you sowed in secret is producing fruit in the open. My child, it is no longer a matter of if it is happening. What was delayed is now accelerating. What was ignored is now rising to the surface. What you thought was forgotten is about to become the headline of your testimony. Get ready. Hold still in your spirit. Prepare the room. Because what I promised in secret is no longer a whisper, it's a movement, and it's coming for you. What the enemy never saw coming is what I've been quietly preparing for you behind every closed door and painful pause. You felt forgotten. You assumed the silence meant denial. But I need you to know, right now, I have been building something for you that no amount of darkness could delay any longer. What has been held back, locked away, or delayed by hands not of me, I'm releasing it now. Not a second early. Not a moment late. At the precise hour when the enemy assumed you were out of options, I scheduled your release. I orchestrated a reversal. I appointed a breakthrough that doesn't just free you, it exposes the lie that said you were stuck. It breaks the illusion that nothing would change. This release is personal. It's designed with the weight of your story in mind. The very chains that tried to contain your destiny are being shattered not by force but by divine order. The enemy tried to corner you with fear, guilt, exhaustion, and the illusion of finality. But I see further. I move beyond the surface. I release in precision. The drought ends not with a trickle, but with an outpour. And this release is going to overtake you faster than your anxiety can doubt it. Because I am the God of sudden shifts. I have been counting the steps you've walked in faith even when everything in your world looked like failure. I saw the mornings where you rose anyway. The nights where you whispered my name even through clenched teeth. The moments where you smiled through disappointment and kept walking forward when all you wanted to do was collapse. My child, that kind of obedience is never ignored. You honored me when the road was narrow. Now I will honor you in the presence of those who thought it was over for you. The things that were denied before, blessings, opportunities, divine alignments, they are now being unlocked and rerouted straight into your life. And this time, there will be no interference, no blockage, no sabotage. The enemy waited for your weakest point to launch an attack, but what he didn't know was that your lowest moment became my launching pad. And now I'm sending it to you in the middle of what looked like the end. Not when you're at your strongest, but while you're leaning on me most. Because then you will know it was never your strength that made this happen. It was my favor. It was my hand. It was my grace that has broken the dam open. You're stepping into something that couldn't come sooner because the time wasn't yet ripe. But now it is. This is the appointed time. This is the chapter where withheld becomes released, where waiting turns into receiving, and where the enemy's last laugh becomes your loudest praise. Don't look back in bitterness. Don't question why it took this long. Just open your hands. Look to me. Because what I am sending isn't scattered or uncertain, it's focused. It's tailor-made. And it's arriving at the exact moment I destined. It's coming straight for you, and it cannot be stopped. You waited long enough. Now it's not just something good approaching, it's the fulfillment of what I declared over your life before you ever walked through the fire. I do not speak in empty promises. I do not whisper dreams just to let them disappear into thin air. Every word I spoke was planted like a seed in the soil of your life. Though time passed and it looked like nothing grew, I was nurturing it deep beneath the surface where no eye could see. You may have forgotten the promises. You may have even lost the strength to believe. But I didn't. My words live. My words move. My words chase what belongs to them. And now they are catching up to you, not because you pursued them perfectly, but because they were always assigned to find you. This moment is not accidental. It is the evidence of what I spoke. And you need to hear this. My child, you are not unworthy of what is about to unfold. You are not disqualified by the time you spent doubting. You are not counted out because you lost your voice in the waiting. I am the one who carries what you dropped. I am the one who keeps moving when your feet give out. I am the one who holds every prophecy, every dream, every divine word until it is time to release it in full. And now the time has come. This is not just favor, it is validation. It is the arrival of what was already yours, returning with power because it never stopped pursuing you. While others were chasing platforms and attention, I was sending something sacred after your heart. Not something loud, but something unstoppable. And no matter how far you wandered, no matter how weary you felt, my promise followed the path of your tears. It tracked your steps through the lonely nights, through the uncertain days, through the valleys of heartbreak where you nearly gave up. You thought I was silent, but I was sending something behind the scenes that would arrive right when your heart needed to know I hadn't forgotten. This is the kind of fulfillment that doesn't just bless, it restores faith. It reminds your soul that my word never returns void. It awakens parts of you that grief tried to silence. It brings back the color in your spirit where everything had gone gray. My child, you're not stepping into a lucky break, you're stepping into divine confirmation. What's coming will look like a miracle to others, but you'll know this with a word he gave me long ago. And it's not coming small. It's coming full. Not rushed. Not incomplete. It's coming with proof that I do not abandon what I begin, proof that I am not a distant God, but a faithful Father who finishes every sentence I start over your life. Get ready to walk into places you once only imagined. Get ready to carry what you thought had passed you by, because it's not just on the way anymore, it's at your doorstep, carrying my word, and it knows exactly where to land. You've been labeled by voices that never knew your story, judged by moments that didn't define you, and measured by standards I never placed on you. But that ends now. I'm not just responding to your need, I'm writing the narrative that surrounded your name. I've seen how you've been misunderstood, how people twisted your struggle into a spectacle, how your silence was taken for weakness and your kindness was mistaken for lack of power. And now, my child, I'm stepping into the story personally. You don't need to prove them wrong. You don't need to defend yourself. That burden doesn't belong to you anymore. I am taking over this battle not just to restore your image, but to reverse every false conclusion that tried to define your worth. This is more than help. This is vindication. And not just partial but full, undeniable, and public. I am not in the business of doing halfway miracles. What I'm bringing will not be small. You won't blend in. It will be the kind of answer that silences the whispers and shuts the mouths that spoke too soon. The ones who laughed when you stumbled, the ones who predicted your end, they will have no words left when they see how I lift you. I will not only remove the stain of their assumptions, I will crown you in front of those who expected to watch you fall. And no, this isn't about revenge, it's about justice. It's about my name being honored through your turnaround. What I am doing in you is not petty, it's holy. It's a divine correction of the storyline that tried to reduce what I placed in you. You were never a mistake. You were never abandoned. Every low point they used to mock you is about to become the very proof of my power. You were not forgotten, you were reserved. Reserved for a glory so weighty, no lie could carry it. Reserved for an elevation so specific, only I could position you for it. My answer will not tiptoe into your life. It will come with weight. It will come with presence. It will arrive as a declaration that I am the one who sees the heart, who redeems the wounded, who calls out royalty in the rejected. And what's coming will be so precise, so irrefutable, that those who once doubted will look again, not to question, but to witness. You will need to say a word. You will need to argue your worth. The blessing will speak for itself. The shift will be loud enough. And as it unfolds, I want you to stay grounded, not in pride, but in humility. Because what I'm doing for you is not to lift your ego, but to honor your endurance. It's to say to every unseen version of you, the tired one, the tearful one, the praying one, that none of it was wasted. The cost you paid in private will be answered in the open. So keep your heart open. Keep your hands ready. Because what I'm about to release will not only restore your soul, it will redefine your reputation. Not by shouting back at those who doubted you, but by rising so boldly that no lie can remain standing. Watch what I do next, not just for your sake, but so that others will know. I defend my children. I complete their stories. And I always finish what I start. You thought it was taking too long, but I was taking my time on purpose. I never lost track of your prayers. I never missed a moment of your waiting. But I wasn't just preparing the blessing, I was preparing you to receive it well. So much of what I've planned for you couldn't be handed over prematurely. A gift given too early can become a weight, and what I have for you is not meant to crush you, but to carry you forward. The reason you felt tension wasn't because I ignored you, it was because I was adjusting everything around you, inside you, and beyond you, so when the moment came, nothing would be missing. You see, my child, you were asking me for something, but I was building something better. You wanted answers quickly, I was orchestrating connections eternally. If I had given you what you wanted when you first asked, you would have accepted less than my best. But I love you too much to let you settle for speed over substance. I didn't withhold it to hurt you. I held it back so you could grow strong enough to sustain it. While you thought I was distant, I was working on layers you couldn't see, people you haven't met yet, places you didn't think you'd go, strength you didn't know you needed. Because I'm not just answering a prayer, I'm fulfilling a purpose. Every tick of the clock that felt like nothing happening was actually me arranging the details. I was protecting the timing from contamination. I was shielding you from missteps that would have taken you off course. I wasn't slow, I was surgical. I was making sure that when the door opens, you'll walk through it in full authority. No more hesitation. No more fear of whether it's really for you. The moment I've set is divinely timed, so precise, even your enemies won't be able to deny it. You'll know it wasn't your striving or someone else's influence, it was me. Just me. That's why the alignment took time. That's why I let some things fall apart. That's why I didn't allow certain people to stay. Because where I'm taking you, only those aligned with my spirit can come. You didn't miss it. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. The pain didn't delay your promise, it prepared you for it. The silence wasn't a sign of absence, it was a seal of purpose. I've been drawing you into deeper trust, because the weight of what's next demands deeper roots. And now those roots have reached deep enough. The foundation has been tested. And I can say, now it's time. I'm sending what was delayed, and this time, it will not return void. It will not be interrupted. It will arrive exactly when your soul is ready to hold it, not cling to it in fear, but steward it in faith. Let this truth quiet your doubts. You were never forgotten. You were being aligned. What's on the way is better than what you begged for. It's stronger than the counterfeit doors that once distracted you. It's wrapped in divine intention. I haven't just been setting the stage, I've been writing the opening line of the chapter that will mark your rise. And no matter how long it seemed to take, it will be worth every moment. Because what's coming won't just bless you, it will make sense of the wait. It will echo with my fingerprints. And it will arrive with a whisper that says, this is why it took time and this is why it's finally here. Don't confuse Garettian with Rejettian. What felt like being stripped down was actually me clearing room for something much greater. I was never trying to harm you, I was shaping you. I never stepped away, I stepped in closer, removing the clutter that would have kept you from standing firm when the weight of your destiny arrived. You assumed the pain meant I was angry, but I was actually anchoring you. I was training you to withstand storms you hadn't yet seen. I was guarding your heart from pride and preparing your hands to handle the sacred. There is a mantle I am placing on you, a divine responsibility, a spiritual elevation, and you needed the wilderness to make you ready to carry it with clarity and grace. The moments that felt like failure were not failures at all, they were lessons. Each heartbreak, each delay, each detour carved depth into your soul, depth that can now hold wisdom, not just blessings. I let you walk through seasons of being overlooked because I didn't want your identity to be built on applause. I needed you to find your value in my presence, not in people's approval. Because what I'm bringing into your life is so weighty, so holy, so sacred, it requires the kind of strength that can't be taught in comfort. It had to be forged in fire. And you, yes, you walked through that fire and came out refined. You didn't fail me. You followed me. Even when you didn't understand, you stayed close. You questioned, yes, but you didn't walk away. You cried, but you didn't give up. And that kind of endurance, that level of trust, is what has now positioned you to receive without being destroyed by the very thing you prayed for. I am not looking for perfection, I am looking for surrender. And you gave me that. Not once, not occasionally, but daily. In the quiet places where no one saw your tears, where no one clapped for your obedience. And now I will honor it not with temporary relief, but with a shift that defines the next chapter of your life. Positioning doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes I had to move you backward to gain momentum. Sometimes I had to strip relationships, route paths, and interrupt dreams that weren't built to carry the real you. I didn't remove things to hurt you. I removed them to protect the space for what's truly coming. You were not being punished, you were being planted. And when a seed is planted, it feels buried, hidden, pressed down. But in that hidden place, everything starts to change. You, my child, have been transformed in the dark. And now it's time for what's been maturing in silence to be revealed in strength. What's about to rest on your life will require discernment, maturity, and unwavering dependence on me. And now, you're ready. The fire that once scared you now no longer intimidates you. The winds that used to push you around now pass by as you stand firm. And the opinions that once broke your spirit now echo faintly behind the voice of your God. Because I've raised you to walk in boldness, not arrogance, but divine confidence. Confidence in my voice. Confidence in my plan. Confidence in my timing. You're no longer guessing. You're listening. And because you've been positioned properly, you're about to step into something that fits, something that affirms everything I whispered to you when no one else could hear. The foundation has been tested. The structure has been built. And now the glory can rest. What I'm placing on your life isn't temporary. It's not fleeting. It's sustainable. It's enduring. And it's personal. This isn't just a blessing, it's a mantle. This is your next level. And you're ready for it not because you're perfect, but because you're prepared. You've been positioned for such a time as this. There's a reason you weren't seen. There's a reason you felt invisible. You would have begun, I ignored you, it would begun, I was healing you. In a world that craves the spotlight, I covered you in the shadows. I kept you hidden while I built what others weren't supposed to touch. There were eyes that weren't meant to see your process. There were voices that would have tried to distort what I was doing inside of you. I placed my hand over your life like a veil, not to conceal you forever, but to cultivate you in purity. Exposure before preparation can destroy destiny. So I waited. I wrapped you in silence, not because you were unworthy, but because you were holy, set apart, locked, chosen. I heard the cries of your heart, the ache to be recognized, the longing to be understood. And still, I said, not yet. Not to tease you, not to hold you back, but to guard you from platforms that weren't designed to carry the full weight of your purpose. I kept your name quiet because I was writing something glorious that couldn't afford to be edited by human hands. What I am building in you is not for show, it's for impact. And now, the season of covering is lifting. I am calling you forth not as who you were, but as who I always knew you'd become. You may have felt forgotten in rooms where others were celebrated. You may have watched opportunities pass by while wondering if your time would ever come. But what I'm doing now doesn't require man's invitation. This is heaven's release. I will reveal you in a way no network, no connection, no system can take credit for. When I lift you, it won't be because you campaigned for it. It will be because I have stamped your name with the approval of heaven. This unveiling will not be shallow. It will carry weight. It will carry substance. It will carry me. I'm not revealing you to impress the world. I'm revealing you to fulfill my assignment through your life. The lessons you learned in secret, the tears you cried in isolation, the prayers you whispered when no one stood with you, they all mattered. And now, I am bringing you out, not as a wounded warrior, but as a healed vessel. What once broke you has now become the very oil that marks your presence. And when people see you, they will sense the difference. They'll feel the fragrance of someone who has walked through fire without smelling like smoke. They will encounter me through the way you carry what I'm about to place on you. Don't rush this moment. Let me do it my way. The unveiling I'm preparing won't be loud in noise, but it will be thunderous in impact. The right people will recognize you. The right doors will open. The right alignments will come, not because you pushed, but because you waited. And I reward those who wait with me. I reward those who trust my timing more than their emotions. My child, this is not a moment of appearance, it is a moment of divine commissioning. When I reveal you, it's not about lights or stages, it's about assignments and souls. What I've poured into you is about to pour through you. So walk into this next season with your head high, not in pride, but in quiet confidence. You are not stepping into a spotlight, you are stepping into the will of your Father. You are not chasing validation, you are living out a calling. The hiding was never a punishment. It was a cocoon. And now, I say to you, emerge. Rise. Step into the space I've made for you. The honor I place on your name isn't fleeting, it's eternal. And no one can strip it from you, because I gave it, and I will sustain it. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to fight for recognition or force people to see what they chose to ignore. What I'm about to do will speak louder than anything you could say. For too long, others observed your struggle and assumed it would be your ending. They stood by while your heart cracked under pressure, while your hands grew tired from holding on to promises that felt far away. Some doubted your resilience, others misread your quiet strength as weakness, but they're about to see what I've been building in the shadows. This is not just a change. This is a reversal. This is a divine pivot. And when I turn things in your favor, it will require noise. It will be so complete, so undeniable, that even your critics will be left in awe. I've seen how you endured mistreatment, how you stayed humble while being overlooked. I watched you love without receiving it back, serve without being acknowledged, remain faithful even when misunderstood. I did not go unnoticed. I do not forget loyalty, especially when it costs something. Your integrity in hidden seasons became the very soil where my justice is now breaking forth. This isn't about vengeance, it's about heavenly recompense. You held your peace when you could have spoken out. You chose forgiveness instead of bitterness. And now, my righteousness will speak on your behalf. The same voices that spoke over your pain will now go quiet when they see your rise. They will see doors open for you that no effort of theirs can match. Not because you demanded it, but because you were faithful when it was hard. That faith has now drawn my response. I'm not just giving you back what was taken, I'm lifting you higher than what was lost. I'm restoring joy, confidence, clarity, and strength. I'm placing you in spaces that once seemed unreachable, because I delight in turning impossibilities into testimonies. Don't fear the attention that comes with the shift. It's not for your glory, it's for mine. People will notice the change in you. They'll wonder how someone who faced what you did could carry so much peace, favor, and authority. But you will know it wasn't by luck or connections or human validation. It was me. It was the same hand that carried you through storms, now raising you above them. The same voice that comforted you in your private tears is now opening doors that only respond to my authority. Those who once turned away will now witness what it looks like when my hand elevates a life that was submitted, refined, and surrendered. And they won't be able to stop it. Your opinions will lose power. Their gossip will lose momentum. Their resistance will collapse under the weight of my favor. Because I am not just changing your situation, I am shifting the atmosphere around you. I'm making it clear that your story is not written by circumstances, it's authored by your Creator. Let this give you peace. You don't need revenge. You don't need to go back and prove yourself. Your life is about to speak louder than anything they said. Your restoration will silence accusations. Your peace will cancel out every lie. What I'm doing is surgical, strategic, and sacred. And I do it in such a way that even those who once doubted will have to pause and wonder, how did this happen? And in that moment, they won't see your effort, they'll see my presence. So lift your eyes. The season of weeping in secret is giving way to joy in plain view. Those who witnessed your breaking will now witness your breakthrough. And the most beautiful part, you won't carry bitterness into the blessing. You'll carry gratitude. You'll walk into this new chapter not with a need to prove, but with a heart that knows it was me all along. Watch as I turn the very stage of your pain into the platform of your promise. The tables aren't just turning, they're being reset entirely for you. The wind came, the waves rose, and everything around you shook, but you did not collapse. That wasn't weakness. That was training. That wasn't chaos, it was construction. What others saw as the end of you was actually the groundwork I was laying for something far greater than you imagined. You thought you were barely surviving, but I was quietly reinforcing the hidden layers of your spirit. I was deepening your endurance, expanding your faith, and securing your roots. Because what I'm about to raise through your life couldn't rest on shallow ground. It had to be built on surrender, and that's what you gave me. I watched how you kept showing up when your strength felt gone. I saw the days you whispered yes through trembling lips, unsure of what it meant, but certain that you wanted me more than comfort. That kind of surrender is not ordinary, it's holy. It gives me permission to build beyond human limits. When you released your grip on how it had to look, I began shaping something better. While the storm raged, I was anchoring your identity in me, not in achievements, not in others, not in outcomes, but in truth that does not shake. And now, because you stood in the unseen, I can build something visible on the strength of your obedience. You may not realize it yet, but your surrender has changed the atmosphere. Your yes wasn't passive. It was powerful. It broke cycles, to shift in generations. It cut ties with fear and planted seeds of legacy. And that's what the storm couldn't destroy: your decision to believe me when nothing made sense. That moment when you said, God, I don't understand, but I trust you anyway, that was the turning point. That was where the foundation was laid. That's the place where I began crafting the future I'm about to unveil. This next move isn't about what you can do, it's about what I've already done in you through the pressure. The storm didn't rob you, it revealed you. It exposed the strength I placed in you long ago. And even when it felt like you were breaking, you were actually being shaped into someone who could carry what's coming without it crushing your spirit. That's why I didn't let the storm destroy you. That's why, even in your most fragile moments, I sustained you. because I was building with eternity in mind. Now you're about to see it rise. Not overnight, not by accident, but piece by piece with purpose. Every lesson, every tear, every quiet surrender, they are all part of the blueprint. What's being constructed now will not just bless you, it will impact everything around you. I am building through you something that will outlast trends, noise, and time. And it will all trace back to this truth. You said yes when it hurt. There are people who will find shelter under the structure I'm raising through your life. There are souls who will find healing through your testimony. There are doors opening because your foundation is no longer cracked by fear or limited by doubt. You gave me access, and now I'm giving you increase. You trusted me in the storm, now I will trust you with the building. Don't be surprised when things begin to align quickly. You'll start to notice clarity, stability, and divine favor where confusion once lived. The framework has been tested. The design has been refined. Now comes the reveal. And as it rises, remember, this isn't built on talent, status, or striving. It's built on a yes. A surrendered, tear-soaked, unwavering yes. And because of that, what comes next will not fall. It will stand. So get ready to rise not with the noise of striving, but with the calm confidence of someone who knows the storm didn't destroy me. It delivered me into destiny. This is not for the crowd. This is not for those who gave up halfway. What I'm about to place in your life hath been custom shaped, not just for what you asked for, but for who you became in the process. This is not something recycled. This isn't a leftover blessing or a generic solution. This is personal, specific, measured. It fits your scars. It aligns with your growth. It matches the depth of your surrender. It knows the cost you paid. This gift, this breakthrough, this provision, this opportunity, this unveiling, it was designed to respond to a level of endurance most people never see. That's why it didn't arrive earlier. It couldn't. You wasn't ready for who you used to be. But now it recognizes you. You endured the stretching that others tried to avoid. You stayed when walking away would have been easier. You listened even when silence echoed louder than answers. And while it looked like nothing was happening, I was crafting something in secret that would be sealed with your name. This isn't about earning, it's about surviving in faith. And only a soul that's been refined in fire can carry what's about to rest in your hands. There are no shortcuts to this. That's why it's exclusive. That's why not everyone can access what's been made for you. Because it's not just a reward, it's a response. You held your ground through storm and shadow. You didn't perform. You persevered. And now I'm sending something that doesn't require explanation, it simply belongs to you. There's no need to compete. There's no one to impress. This isn't about visibility. It's about fulfillment. I'm delivering what you couldn't manufacture through your own strength. You couldn't manipulate it into existence. You couldn't rush it or buy it or network your way to it. Because it was never in your power to begin with. It's a divine assignment disguised as a blessing. And it's on its way to you. You're not receiving it because of perfection, you're receiving it because of trust. When everything felt unstable, you chose to cling to me instead of collapsing under pressure. You chose to praise with trembling hands. You chose to worship with an aching heart. And that was what separated you. I didn't need flawless performance. I needed real faith. Faith that weeps. Faith that wavers. Faith that stumbles but refuses to let go. That's the kind of heart I honor. That's the kind of endurance that heaven applauds. And now, because you've walked that road, I'm sending what can only find rest in your hands. You won't have to fight to keep it. You won't have to beg anyone to recognize it. Because when something is meant for you, it arrives peacefully and settles effortlessly. You'll know it because it won't require you to change who you are to receive it. You won't need to shrink or stretch for it to fit. It will meet you in the place where purpose and preparation finally intersect. And it will not bring confusion, it will bring clarity. It will come wrapped in peace and soaked in confirmation. And when it arrives, you will feel me in it. My breath, my rhythm, my signature. This is not a coincidence. This is not luck. This is a holy delivery. It's being released from my hand, escorted by grace, guided by promise, and aimed with intention. It carries the weight of all that you've sown in faith. It answers the groans of your spirit. And it lands not in someone else's life, not in a nearby place, but directly where you are, because it was made to find you. So prepare not to chase, but to receive. Prepare to hold something that carries my fingerprints and your obedience woven together. It's not coming to validate you, it's coming to confirm what I always knew about you. You could carry it. And now you will. Amen.